It's the quarterfinal round of the NIT. And UCF is trying to turn the Broadway show 42nd Street back in Champaign into its own date with 34th and 8th in Manhattan, because the winner here goes on to Madison Square Garden for the semifinals. Welcome back, everybody. Doug Sherman with Dan Dockich, and Matt Williams is playing the starring role on Broadway here tonight.
Oh, I see what you did there, and it was spectacular. I'll tell you what, Matt Williams has been great. Hey, he has shot from deep, and I mean deep. He has done it all. He and A.J. Davis have outscored. Look how deep that is. That's just catch and shoot from way out. 13 for Matt Williams, 10 for A.J. Davis. I'm not good at math, but that's 23. Illinois has only 19. Illinois has gotten good looks. Only 2 baskets other than threes. That's the Taco Fall effect. Illinois has gone away from him instead of going into him.
Yeah, I'll ask you this. Taco Fall's stat line doesn't jump at you at all. 14 minutes, 1 shot, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 block shot. But he has had a much bigger impact on this game than that stat line would let you think.
I don't understand why UCF is doubling Maverick Morgan in the post. Like, you don't have to double Maverick Morgan from Taco Fall. And because they doubled, Malcolm Hill got a wide open look for a 3.
10 points from Malcolm Hill. He leads all Illinois scorers. The senior from Fairview Heights, Illinois. Into the backcourt. B.J. Taylor tracks it down. It's over and back.
Yeah, hit it off his leg. I was wondering if the ref were going to see that. The one in front of us, I don't think did. Pat Evans caught it. If I'm Illinois, watch this. This is going to be off the leg, right there.
Good call.
If I'm Illinois, I'm going back on the block and I'm playing out of it again.
Hill misses the 3. Davis clears the rebound for the Knights.
Oh, yeah, great look. Malcolm Hill just killing himself.
I don't know if that was a clean catch, but it certainly was a clean release.
No, that was not a clean catch. He fumbled it, messed around with it, drilled it from 26, 28. I don't know what it was. It was just deep.
What kind of shooting range did you have back at IU?
Not that. My shooting range was past Alford. Look, I'm telling you, the double out of the post. Malcolm Hill had a 3, turned it down, went to his spot.
Davis with another rebound. And the junior from Atlanta picks up his dribble. In they go to Taco Fall. He was holding hands with the defender. LaRon Black was doing everything he could to hang on and still couldn't stop it.
Maverick Morgan beat him down the floor, and that time Maverick Morgan went into him, got it on the glass quick.
First 2 points of the night for Maverick Morgan.
You said there's 39 people in the world, not the country, the world, that are taller than Taco Fall. That's tragic.
In the world.
How do you know? How does anybody know that? This is really downtown. Watch this. He's going to fumble, and drill it from about 38. And then they're holding hands here. Watch. They're just kind of tied up. He extricates himself and dunks easily.
He is something else.
He's a good player.
7'6", 290 from Senegal. He played his high school basketball here in the Orlando area at Liberty Christian Prep.
See, smart right there. They didn't double. I'm telling you, I'm playing out of the post the entire second half. That's the comfort zone for Illinois here. That time, no double, but Illinois able to play inside out, got a layup.
UCF led by as many as 17 points in the first half. Trying to chip away. Taylor lost it. Lucas with a good defense, and here comes the freshman from Milwaukee. Cross court finding Hill. Back they go to Abrams for 3.
That's a bad possession. He had 2 chances to knock in a shot. I think Hill should have. I think Abrams should have the first time. And then after the shot fake. There's just, I'm telling you, sitting here courtside, you may not be able to see it at home, but sitting here courtside, there is doubt in the eyes of Illinois, and it's all because of Taco Fall. They don't know where he is. When they don't know where he is, they think he's coming from behind. When they do know where he is, they don't want to go into him.
This is the first ever meeting between these two schools. Good defense again for Illinois. LaRon Black took it away. Abrams. No way he's going up there. Instead passes to the corner, and Fall winds up with it in his hands either way.
Man, I tell you what. Malcolm Hill, wow.
Well, let's learn more about UCF Knight center Taco Fall in one of our real stories brought to you by Principal Financial Group. And we talked about the measurables, but his impact goes even beyond that, if you can imagine that.
He doesn't play weak. Like a lot of kids, well, there aren't a lot of kids, but when you see kids of extraordinary length, they usually play weak. He does not. In fact, we said earlier, he is strong across the shoulders. He has broad shoulders, thicker than he looks on television. And everything he does is pretty strong.
You know, UCF head coach Johnny Dawkins during his playing days at various times was a teammate of Sean Bradley, the former BYU star, who was 7'6", and of Manute Bol, who was 7'7". Does Taco Fall remind you of either of those two guys at all?
You know, it's interesting. I think he's a little bit in between. Bol was, I think, weaker, and Bradley was a little more polished, I think. But I would say that he... that's goaltending. That hit the backboard.
Tough shot off the window by B.J. Taylor.
And he is a good-looking, strong player.
Black from the foul line gets those two back.
Hey, Black is the one kid that looks like he's wanting to challenge UCF. He wanted to challenge Taco Fall. That time he ran down, demanded the ball, quickly knocked it in. Throw it in.
Crowd rises in decibels as Fall goes to work.
It's not rocket science. Throw him the ball.
Coleman lands around and out. Williams the rebound for a moment, but had it stripped. There's that aggression you were talking about out of LaRon Black, but now Fall clears it.
Telling you, he is strong.
Taylor for three. Timeout, Illinois.
I thought this was a goaltend. Hit the backboard first. Maybe not. He went up there with fantastic timing. Look at, just back you up. This is a big guy, Maverick Morgan. No match for Fall, who fell.
Most college basketball players, they're taller than the average human. The UCF Knights are dwarfed by Taco Fall.
Hey, look, he's just not a tall guy walking around. Look at this touch going to his left shoulder. This is really, really nice, making the defender disappear. And here he just catches a jump shot, which you don't oftentimes see. And then playing a little patty cake, he eliminates the defender, dunks. He's been a real factor, even though his numbers don't really say it. 3 for 3, 6 rebounds, 6 points, but he's impacted big time with his presence, intimidation.
Now, he didn't start playing basketball until he was 16. They moved the family to Houston. Actually got some tutoring from Hakeem Olajuwon. If you were an NBA GM right now, would you take him? And do you see him being an impact player at some point in the NBA?
Well, I would work him out. I mean, I would. I would have to have him come in and see what I think and how he fits into my particular team. But look, again, I talked to a number of people who were around the program today, and I talked to them today, and they all said, look, last year he couldn't go up and down. If he continues to progress like he has in a year, sky's the limit for the kid.
Tracy Abrams, offensive foul. All smiles here in Orlando with a capacity crowd enjoying the show by Taco Fall. Back inside a sold-out CFE Arena in Orlando. The NCAA Women's Championship Sweet 16 continues Saturday on ESPN with Oregon, the 10th seed, taking on the 3 seed Maryland at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Then after that one, the UConn Huskies look for their 110th straight win when they face UCLA. Both games come to you from the Bridgeport, Connecticut region and are streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. UConn, Dan, has reached its 24th consecutive Sweet 16.
Yeah, that is remarkable. I keep saying it. You have to make the argument that Gino Auriemma is the best team sport coach ever. I mean, 24 straight, going for their 110th win. Do you know how hard it is to win 10 straight games? And we're talking about 110. I think the matchup with Maryland will be interesting. It's a rematch. It was at Maryland, and Maryland played them down the stretch okay. But, man, 24 straight.
There are college graduates who have never been alive since UConn missed the Sweet 16.
Man, you're throwing all the good stuff.
Malcolm Hill the steal, and he goes to the floor. Ball goes through the hole, but they're going to say the foul was first. That would have been an SC top 10, probably number 1 if they had counted that. Wow.
My partner He's going up to shoot. I mean, what else is he doing? He picked the ball up. My partner Dave Fleming right now would be losing his mind. That's a great shot and an awful call. That's a three-point play. And that's not NBA continuation. That's just, for some reason, the officials this year have made it almost you have to have an act of Congress to get a three-point play other than somebody mauling you. It's ridiculous. That's a three-point play. Hit a three, the ball knows. There you go.
Bingo.
Ball knows. It's that simple.
Williams pulls the trigger again. Over the back foul called against Chad Brown.
Man, Chad Brown sprung right up. That's a bad shot by Williams. I'll tell you why. He didn't have any rhythm. He kind of caught it, and Malcolm Hill was up into him. It's one thing to have a little bounce like he had earlier when he shot it from that deep in the first half, but he was flatlined, tried to go up. That's a really, really difficult shot, no matter how good a stroke you have.
And with Taco Fall on the bench, last couple of minutes, the Illini on a little run, getting better looks. Bad pass. Abrams saves it, but it goes to UCF. B.J. Taylor splits the defense, makes like a running back, hitting the hole and lays it in.
He did. He protected the ball. Coleman Lands kind of acted like he was coming over, but little Barry Sanders changed direction. Layup.
Out of Boone High School here in Orlando. Actually grew up in Conway, which is just south of downtown Orlando. Got most of his family here in this capacity crowd. Effiani.
That was athletic. Him getting into the passing lane was so quick. Not the layup. The layup was pretty good, but getting in the passing lane, getting the steal was unbelievable quick.
Layup by Lucas. Yeah, that athletic move by Tank Effiani as Davis puts it high off the glass. Not usually what you think of when a guy's named Tank, right?
No, if your name is Truck, Tank, or Shaq, generally you don't do that. But when your name is BJ, you've been doing this all year long. And look, BJ Taylor can really play. This is a great steal by Effiani, and the Tank goes down the lane, lays it in. I've never met a skinny small Tank, a skinny small Shaq, or a skinny small Truck.
We're seeing one tonight.
Quick.
First 2 points for the senior from University High School here in Orlando. Get our first look as well, coming off the bench for UCF. Nathan Lang, junior from Lillington, North Carolina, with 2 to shoot. I'll tell you, from the NIT logo, that almost went down.
Should have gone down.
Hill was fouled and will shoot 2. On this campus of 64,000 students.
How many?
64,000. It's all Knights.
Wow.
50-33, Knights over the Illini for a spot in the NIT semifinals against TCU. The Horned Frogs punched their ticket with a win over Richmond last night. Georgia Tech also will be at Madison Square Garden, and in our nightcap tonight over on ESPNU, it'll be UT Arlington and CSU Bakersfield for a spot against the Yellow Jackets.
Tell you what, he has been a coach for a while. Josh Pastner, I believe, has done his best coaching job with this Georgia Tech team. I remember before the season started, people telling me, man, they're not an ACC team. They don't have ACC talent. Josh Pastner came from Memphis, was basically run out of town, lifeline thrown to him by Georgia Tech after Brian Gregory was let go. Brian, I believe, is the new head coach at UCF down here. And Josh Pastner has done a great job at Georgia Tech.
Well, when Josh Pastner was hired by Tech, his own AD said, we don't expect you to win any games in the ACC this year.
Well, that's the ultimate great job.
Wow.
We don't expect you to win anything.
And yet he wins ACC Coach of the Year with a sub-500 record.
Yeah, which, you know what? People should be lined up to work for that AD. I think it was Babinski, who's now at Purdue. So Matt Painter doesn't have to, no.
Different set of expectations, but what a job down in Atlanta for Georgia Tech.
Tell you what, Coleman Lands, who is normally a good shooter, that's his second air ball. UCF has done a really good job of running him off the three-point line, over recovering, and then getting back to him and distracting.
Illinois led early 3-2. Since that time, it has been all UCF in this matchup of American Conference against the Big Ten. A.J. Davis, jump stop, back out Taylor, wide open three. Off the side rim, goes out of bounds. Illinois basketball. Well, the opportunity to go play at Madison Square Garden, the NIT semis and championship game, is something that you'll remember forever. And whichever side gets there is a big deal. Illinois back in 1980, Dan, made it to the NIT semis, where they wound up losing. They're led by Eddie Johnson. They lost to Minnesota in the semis. Remember who was on that 1979-80 Minnesota team that beat them?
Oh, yeah. Randy Brewer was on that team. Jim Peterson was on that team. Michael Thompson, man, no, he was in 76.
Kevin
McHale was on that team. In 85, I played in the NIT championship game against, lost to UCLA. And I got to tell you, we had a bad year, really kind of sort of maybe didn't want to play. Once we got going, it became a real goal to get to New York City. And you mentioned it, I can still remember. You know, we played Reggie Miller. Reggie ended up having a big second half and beat us, but the heck. You know, for a guy like Tracy Abrams, he's been there 6 years. This is your last 10 minutes, maybe ever. Play like it's literally no tomorrow.
LaFonso Ellis back in the studio tells the same story you do from his time at Notre Dame. Opportunity to play in the NIT as a senior, made it all the way to the Garden, remembers it like it was yesterday.
I tell my son I never missed a shot in the Garden.
Didn't take any.
I'm not sure I did. I know that's not true. I know I made 2 in a Tennessee game. I'm not sure what I did against Reggie. Probably nothing.
All right.
Yeah, I made a couple in that game. Coach Knight was mad. When Coach Knight got mad at me as a senior, I'd only play the second half of games. Just for whatever reason.
Otherwise, you might have missed a shot.
Got to make it. Got to make that. Maverick Morgan has not been able to make anything. Nobody really has been able to make a thing for Illinois.
Illinois' leading scorer tonight, Malcolm Hill, the senior from Fairview Heights, Illinois, whose parents, by the way, were quite disappointed that Illinois State lost that game on Monday to these UCF Knights, because this game would have then been played at Illinois State, and they would have been able to make the short drive.
Well, they're even more disappointed right now because Illinois getting run out of here.
Taylor back out to Davis. Dump it off for Fall, and we've got a blocking foul on the pass. Catch every moment of the 2017 NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament on the ESPN networks. For more information, visit ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. So is UConn on the women's side going to win another national title? Not even close.
No. 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 Of course not. I said in the studio, whoever they were, I can't remember who they played in the first round. I said, all right.
Albany.
Yeah, I said, would you take, we were talking, would you take Albany and give 60?
Right. Well, it was 50 was the line.
I thought it was 43.
Oh.
It ended up being 60.
Yeah, 60.
Look, UConn is so organized, such a juggernaut, so well coached. People argue with me all the time, but I don't know how you can compare anybody to what Gino Auriemma has done in terms of team sports. Undefeated seasons, 109 in a row, going for 110 championships. I guess maybe the Globetrotters against the Washington Generals, who quit. I guess the Globetrotters don't play the Generals anymore. I guess that'd be the only thing you can compare it to.
Yeah, they had a pretty good percentage over the years.
Not bad.
The Trotters did.
110 in a row they're going for.
Hill for 3.
Well, that's the way they're going to get back in. Get the ball down the floor quickly. And Malcolm Hill starting to make shots. He along with Coleman Lands. But you got to get the ball down the floor quickly. And you got to have something either on the block or you got to have something going to the bucket, regardless of whether it falls in there or not.
It's a 15-point game. 9 minutes on the clock. Down in the block, Fall and Black were banging. And if you're LeRon Black giving up 11 inches, what are you supposed to do?
I watched that sequence, and the official could have done one of 3 things. He could have called a foul. You're going to see these two guys. He could have called a foul on either guy or just yelled to let him play. You see right there an elbow to the chops and an undercut, a suplex by Black.
Black comes up with his steal.
Suplex goes back to Don Luce Wrestling back in Chicago in the mid-70s. Oh, boy.
Out of bounds. Nice basketball. The official says Lucas was the last to touch. Lucas gets up saying, I never touched the basketball.
It hit him in the back. He doesn't know it touched him. It hit him in the back. Watch this. You're going to see the ball come loose. Well, you couldn't see it right there, but it bounced off his back.
Taylor lob it into the post. Ball comes loose after sitting on it. Nick Banyard able to get the ball back out front. Williams shovel pass. Banyard. (53-36). Who wants to challenge Taco now? Not me. It is taco time here in Orlando. A lot of contact on the drive to the basket, and the foul goes against Jalen Coleman Lands.
UCF's a fun team. Drive at middle, bad things happen to the defense. A little drive and dish, and now you want to challenge Taco? Don't challenge Taco. That's with the left hand, Doug.
Back at UCF here in Orlando, Florida. All Knights right now, 53-36 for a spot in the NIT semis. Hey, look who's in the crowd. That's the Illinois head football coach, Lovie Smith, on the left.
Sitting with Josh Whitman, the athletic director, who did a great job, Whitman did, of getting his head coach. Did not use a search firm. Figured, you know what? He's hired two of them. He hired Lovie, and he's hired Brad Underwood. I thought Lovie Smith got jobbed with the Chicago Bears. I've been a Chicago Bears fan since the days of Abe Gibran. And Lovie Smith did a really good job in Chicago. I thought a great job. They haven't done so well without Lovie Smith at the helm. Illinois, I think, will get pretty good with him.
He's a Super Bowl coach.
That's what I'm saying.
He's going to try and do similar things with the Illini. And since the new AD took over, since Josh got there, he's made a couple of pretty big hires in, 13 months now?
You know, you come into a job, I guess that's kind of what you would want. You know, you want to put your stamp on the program, I suppose. I mean, otherwise, well, let me back up. He hires Lovie Smith. The football program had been through a difficult time with Tim Beckman being fired. And then John Gross not making the NCAA tournament again. I think John's a great guy. Really like him. But you don't make the tournament at a school like Illinois, put yourself in position to get fired. I've never seen Lovie Smith speak. Like, I watch him on the sidelines. He doesn't speak. Like right now, he's not speaking.
So you're calling him antisocial?
No, I'm saying I just have never seen it. You know, on the sidelines, you never see him say a word. Seriously. I mean, I've never seen him other than on the sidelines.
All right, we'll keep an eye on an accusation that has never been made about my partner.
Never. No. People have not only seen but heard me speak. I'd like to see them one time just throw it up to Fall and see if he can do anything with it.
We'll see if that'll get a reaction out of the coach. 2-point shot by Williams off the mark.
Telling you.
I like this little Lovie cam. Lucas hits the three. Hey.
Yep. All right. I'm a big fan. I am. I've been a big fan of Lovie Smith's for a long time. He worked with a friend of mine, Scott Seeliger, and Scott always told me what a great guy Lovie is. So I've rooted for him for a long, long time.
Well, the Illinois basketball team down by 14, and Dan Dockich with 6.5 minutes to go. What do the Illini have to do just to get back in this thing and give themselves a shot?
Well, number one, they've got to get every loose ball. They have not come up with loose balls on either end, really. Number two, they've got to continue. They can play inside out. They don't have to continue just to play side to side. They can go at, kick, go at, find the next. And when you do that, you shrink the defense. Now your three-point shooting is going to open up. You can't just play east and west. You got to go some north and south here.
Interim head coach Jamal Walker will hand over the reins of the program to Brad Underwood at the point Illinois' season comes to an end.
I would assume, and we asked Brad Underwood earlier, I would assume that Jamal Walker, who is a terrific recruiter, a really good coach, and a great guy, will get every consideration to stay with Brad Underwood simply because of the job he's done or did for Illinois and Gross.
Taco time.
What you try to do with him, Doug, is you try to take the ball away from him, move the defense, swing it back quickly like they just did, and then go inside because you take the help out of it. And if you get any kind of angle with Fall, he's going to dunk on you. He's the nation's leader in dunks.
You know, he is shooting as the ball falls for Coleman Lance. Taco Fall is shooting 72% from the floor this year, 75% last year as freshman.
Well, and he would be the nation's leader, but he didn't qualify with enough attempts. Here's
Maverick Morgan tied him up and is going to be called for the reach-in foul.
Man, I don't know about that one either.
Looked like he had him tied up.
Looked like he just ripped it out of Fall's hands.
Non-shooting foul, and again with the experimental rules in the NIT, the team fouls right now only 4 for Illinois, 2 for UCF. Taco Fall, you get in that deep, he's going to score.
And you know, a lot of guys can't. There's a lot of guys a lot shorter than him that would bank that, clank that. Taco Fall makes it look easy. He just flips him in.
Taco steps out, forces a tougher shot by Lucas, and the big fella has another rebound.
Stepped out, got back, got the ball. You know what? He has not dropped the ball in the 2 games I've watched him.
Couldn't handle that pass. Illinois basketball.
That's on the passer. That.
Do you think for a second Jalen Coleman lands when he was driving the baseline, thought about trying to dunk it on the reverse?
Hey, here's Fall right here. Where is Maverick Morgan? Maverick Morgan's only 6'11". I don't. Oh, there he is. There he goes. That's a lot of big. Look, if you stood next to Maverick Morgan, your reaction would be, wow, is he big? You stand next to Taco Fall, you get dizzy.
I guess it's all relative.
I tell you, Hill is the guy. Hill has gotten really good looks. He came off a little double screen, falling to his left, snapped his wrist, straightened the ball out, got it in.
19 leads the Fighting Illini, hanging around back within a dozen. Let's see what kind of answer Williams and the Knights have. 10 to shoot and a double dribble.
Yeah, that was a confusing play. Like, I wonder if he had not acted like he turned it over, Banyard, if the refs would have caught it, because it was so odd looking. Everybody kind of went, huh? All right, big possession here. 3 puts it under 10, which all of a sudden you've got game pressure for the first time. A bucket here gives him 5 quick ones. Middle of the zone, opposite or down is where you go here. The middle's been open.
Hill leading the way for the Fighting Illini.
Yeah.
It's a 9-point game.
Yeah, I'm telling you, game pressure starts now. High ball screen. Good for Illinois. And Jamal Walker went to the hot guy, Malcolm Hill.
Back in Orlando, Florida, where the UCF Knights trying to hold off Illinois for a spot in the NIT semifinals. Tonight, after Knicks Jazz, stick around for Sports Center at night with Neil and Stan. They'll have a full breakdown of the World Baseball Classic Championship game, the best from the NBA, NHL spring training, NFL news, and a look ahead to the Sweet 16 games tomorrow night. Sports Center at night, also streaming live on the ESPN app. and watch ESPN. So Team USA or Puerto Rico in the World Baseball Classic championship game?
I'm going with Team USA. You know, it's a home game, and I'm America. Well, Puerto Rico's America too, so there's more people in the United States.
All right, red, white, and blue it is.
Hey, by the way, are the Knicks the most talked about worthless team in maybe the history of basketball?
Yes, and it's astonishing how much, even outside of the Northeast and outside of metropolitan New York City, that goes on.
Why, like, I told people a long time ago Porzingis had bad eyes to be a good pro, and he's proven me right. I mean, he makes a bucket once in a while, but my goodness, is that team a mess, and we keep talking about them. Here we got a game, though. We
do. The Illini once down by as many as 19 points. Right back in it. Hill fouled on the 3.
Davis played great defense. I was watching Davis the entire possession. Jamal Walker is doing a great job as a coach. He realizes that Malcolm Hill's the going guy. Davis got caught up on a screen, got out there, and Hill just put his arm. I have no idea how that's a foul, other than Hill selling it, but good for that man, figuring out Hill's the going guy, get him the ball. Like, so many coaches and teams, a guy's going and they go away from him. Why? It's not a democracy. Get the ball to the hot guy.
He leads all scorers here tonight. These are the first made free throws of the night for the Illini.
He missed 2 earlier, which you got a real story there, but you see Fall coming back in. This is 9 straight for Hill, is it not? 2 threes and 3 free throws here if he makes.
Young man from Fairview Heights, Illinois, makes it a 57-51 ball game.
All right, here's where you go. Again, if you want to dunk, you take it away from Fall. Williams has to be involved here, and Taylor. That's it. Taylor going to the rim, Williams shoot.
There goes the redshirt sophomore from here in Orlando. Wild shot. Fall misses the putback, and here come the Fighting Illini.
What a block out by Malcolm Hill. You see where the ball is, you got to find Hill.
Lucas somehow saved it back to Abrams.
Terrible shot.
Good shot. Coleman lands, though, couldn't get it. Ball's loose. Who wants it? The Knights have it.
Huge possession right there. You said it. Great look for Coleman lands after Illinois battled like crazy.
Tejon Lucas, the freshman who has had such a terrific NIT, commits the foul.
Tejon Lucas wasn't playing. First game at Maryland for Illinois in the Big Ten, they got drilled, and Lucas came in and played really well. His vision was big. Since then, he's been playing. Now he's starting, and he's been terrific.
And again, with the experimental rules, there are no 1-and-1s. So that was the 5th foul of this segment, this 10-minute segment of the second half against Illinois. And so it's a 2-shot foul here and going forward for the rest of regulation for Davis and the Knights. Young man who missed the start of this season with a broken hand delivers a couple of big free throws. Where did the Illini go?
Well, they tried to go with a slip for Hill and a flare for Coleman lands. Great defense by UCF.
Maverick Morgan tries to pull his way to the bucket, and he's called for traveling.
Maverick Morgan, a little screen. Now he's rolling, gets in traffic. Pretty good help. Yeah, he took a bunch of little steps. Look at the block.
And again, Coleman lands right before that. Could have had an open shot, but Taco Fall closed out and made him change his mind.
And he can close out short, meaning away from the offensive player, and still have impact because of how obviously long he is.
84-inch wingspan.
Pretty good. And you know what else? A lot of guys have good wingspan. A lot of guys are big, not his big, but you know what? He has pretty good timing. Actually, he has really good timing. That's a skill.
10 on the shot clock. B.J. Taylor for three. Taco Fall, who set the high ball screen, is the one on the floor fighting for it. But it's Illinois basketball.
And Taco Fall, again, 7'6". He danced over a defender, I believe, that fell down to go get the basketball. That was his agile. Let's see what he does here. Ball's going to be loose. You couldn't see it. He already, let's see. No, I thought he had danced over a guy out farther before that, but apparently not.
Hill to the corner. Abrams. That would have cut it to 5. Malcolm Hill again fouled on the three-point shot.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You foul him again. Davis, after the scramble, you see Hill sets himself. Davis comes out clearly behind the line, gets him on the right side. I know I keep beating a dead horse, but Jamal Walker set a great play up right there. They set a high ball screen, but they gave it to Malcolm Hill. He worked off. Wide open shot for Abrams left corner, but I don't think Abrams was ready. .79% foul shooter, misses the first.
Second team all Big Ten for a young man who grew up spending summers at Illini basketball camps in Champaign.
Great, great career, Malcolm Hill. Not good, not just elite, great.
Well, only Deion Thomas and Kawani Garris have scored more points in the history of Illinois basketball.
And Deion Thomas sitting 3 doors down.
Yep.
From us, Kawani Garris, a little quick point guard out of Westinghouse, I believe, in Chicago. Two of the greats.
This is the closest the game has been since the opening couple of minutes. And a steal on the inbound.
Got to get it reversed.
Hill for three again. Still no indication whether it's a held ball or a foul. Looks like we have a personal call. And so they'll walk to the other end of the floor to shoot free throws. Boy, the Illini had their shot.
Boy, they sure did. I mean, they made the steal in the corner. Coleman Lands got it. I thought Hill rushed that a little bit. Nothing wrong with getting 2 points on that possession, but Hill been making them.
Jamie Dixon's TCU Horned Frogs await the winner of this one in the semifinal round of the NIT Tuesday. And you can see that on ESPN.
I got to tell you, what a win Jamie Dixon had at Iowa. Iowa had a packed house. Carver Hawkeye Arena was rocking, and they went in there and led basically all day.
1 out of 2 for Davis. Here goes Hill. Abrams attacks, lost it on the way up, and he was fouled. This is not over.
Not even close. You make these 2 free throws, you got a 5-point game, and UCF has not handled heat. They have not moved to get open, number 1, and number 2, when trapped, they have exposed the ball.
Why do you think Taco Fall's on the bench at the moment?
Well, he's not a free throw shooter, and you know they're going to foul.
Right. Only 46% of the year.
Oh boy. If you get a dead ball and he can come in defensively, you would bring him in.
Abrams gets the second. Timeout. UCF.
It's been a pretty good day for UCF. Started with Williams just unloading on Illinois, and they took the lead early. And this guy here has influenced. I mean, his numbers aren't great, 3 for 3, but he has influence. And this is the staple. This is what Johnny Dawkins is building. He's building a defensive unit that is explosive and an offensive unit that relies on penetration and A little bit of that guy.
Well, the players around Taco Fall get it done as well. Coach Dawkins tells them we need you in your stances for 60 possessions, not just 25 or 30. And we need you to keep it congested in the lane. They've done a pretty solid job of that here tonight.
You know what they can also do? They can, and they've done a nice job of this with Coleman Lands. You can extend your defense as well because you've got Fall back in there. So you get beat, you know the big fella is coming. And even if he doesn't block it, he intimidates it.
UCF will have to inbound and then protect the basketball. Nick Banyard, the trigger man, with Maverick Morgan defending. Get it into Davis. And a foul is called. A little dangerous there. Davis handling that basketball.
Well, he stepped through pretty nice, and he was able to get a hook from Maverick Morgan. It was a good call and not a bad step through. However, he did expose it a little bit.
Fourth personal foul on Morgan. And so Davis, who a moment ago made 1 out of 2, heads back to the line.
You cannot have an empty possession if you're Illinois, regardless if he makes 1, 2, or none.
Well, it's not empty anymore.
I mean, if you're Illinois, you know, if you're Illinois, you don't need a 3. You just get points and you keep this alive, and eventually you rely on them missing a free throw, them being UCF. Doesn't have to be 3 for 2 here. Has to be something to the rim, and you just have to put points on the board. Empty possession, game pretty much over.
Abrams is fouled on the perimeter.
Perfect if you're Illinois. Not
2
so
free
perfect.
throws coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly, other than getting a wide open 3, which you're not going to get in 3 seconds or 4 seconds. That's the best you can hope for, because you make the second one, you get your defense set up, you get it set up right now, make the second, and now you're really trapping.
You see, that's the 4th personal foul on the second team all-conference point guard of the night, B.J. Taylor. And so the 6th-year senior has already received 2 degrees at Illinois, his bachelor's and his master's, working on a second, shooting 2.
Ooh, wow. I was going to say shot it hard. I have so much respect, and I want to say this before the game is over, for Tracy Abram. I talked to Adam Fletcher, the weight coach, and he talks about the work this kid put in. A lot of kids would have said the heck with it. He's come back, earned 3 degrees. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, he has been tough on tough and done as good a job as he can to lead, and is a great, not a good, a great young man. Hire Tracy Abrams, and your company's going to get better.
UCF burns a timeout. Yeah, Tracy Abrams has had each of his last 2 seasons ended early by injury, an ACL and an Achilles tear, and in spite of that, he just keeps working. He's in his 5th year as a captain, his 6th year on the team.
Yeah, that tells you a little bit about him. When you're a captain as a sophomore and you continue to be a captain, look, the year hasn't gone the way anybody at Illinois wants it to go, clearly. But Tracy Abrams has carried himself with dignity and class, and I can't say enough about that kid. I've enjoyed being around him since he was a freshman. I've enjoyed doing Big Ten games and saying hello to him. He just looked at me and kind of gave me one of those I can't get a shot to go looks. But he's a great kid, and I wish nothing but the best for that guy, man. He is tough on tough.
During shoot-around this afternoon, he and I sat and talked for a few minutes, and you could just tell he was so excited about trying to extend his college career at least 1 more day. Yeah,
there's a lot of desperation. You know, when the end is here, you're a freshman, you think you're going to play forever. All of a sudden, you're a senior. A little different deal.
Banyard gets it to Taylor.
We got a foul.
There it is. Hill says Taylor went down on his own. Meanwhile, Taylor is holding his left knee.
I tell you what, if Hill could have put on the brakes, Taylor would have gone down, because Taylor was leaning into Hill, and if Hill had been able to stop, like literally on a dime.
Yeah.
Watch here. He can't. He's cutting in. If he could have stopped, I think Taylor might have slipped on his own.
Taylor at the line, 73% of the year.
I think this time next year you're going to see this exact scene, but it's going to be in the NCAA tournament with UCF. I do. See how he cut it in there? He hit him pretty good, I guess. See, here's a time when you might get Taco Fall in, because then you can extend. They're going to do it right now. He's running to the bench. He heard me.
So now they need Taylor to make this shot so they can get him in.
And what you'll do is you kind of put him in the middle, but he's going to have to get out and guard LeBron Black.
Abrams rising up, around and out. Spaniards got it for the Knights.
We got a foul.
Several seconds burned off before they get a piece of Taylor.
Boy, that's just bad luck. Tracy Abrams had that one halfway down, and if that goes, man, do we have a different setup.
Fourth foul on Hill. Yeah, we talked about what Abrams has done. How about the fact that through his first 5 years at Illinois, he was a 27% shooter on three-point shots. Now 42% this year.
Yeah, going into the Big Ten season, he was the nation's leader.
Taylor with a clutch free throw, 64-56.
Now you might think about a three here if you can get something, maybe from LeBron Black.
Hill over Taco Fall. Timeout, Illinois.
Tell you what, they go to that same action and they need a three. Hill's going to turn around and fire at the Black at the top of the key, and he's going to be wide open.
Malcolm Hill with 29 points to lead Illinois. He's been bringing it right from the start tonight.
Go right into the body, don't fade away. But even at that, did you see the hand come up?
Yeah.
Paul almost got a piece of that one.
He went for 40 against Northern Kentucky back in November. He won't get there unless we've got bonus basketball coming. But it's been a terrific show once again for the 6'6" senior.
Yeah, he's a great player. He really is. And again, as I said earlier, it's a shame he's never had a chance to showcase his talents in the NCAA tournament. But he certainly is showcasing them tonight. Now, if you're UCF, you've got to do something other than what they have done. Let me explain, Doug. Basically, UCF has put three guys across and crossed the three. It's been a very easy switch for Illinois in the front court. There has been no deception. There has been no room. If I'm Johnny Dawkins, I'm spreading this out a little bit to where I can slip a screen to where I have room to beat you one-on-one. You're going to tell, if they are bunched up here at the free throw line, it's going to be difficult for UCF to get it in bounds. If they're spread out, they'll get it in fairly easy.
Taco Fall is on the bench for this inbounds play. Malcolm Hill is well on the bench.
Did you see the room they gave him? They gave a ton of room. They got in the line. Third guy in the line sprinted up and had the entire middle to left side of the court to beat his man. They gave him a ton of room and entered it far easier.
Maverick Morgan is fouled out of the ball game. He's another one of the seniors for the Fighting Illini.
Well, that was a mistake. You could have brought anybody in to do what Maverick Morgan did. You could have brought Thorne in. You could have brought anybody in and saved Maverick Morgan to keep him in. That was a mistake with 4 fouls, him being the trap guy. Short.
Ball back in, replacing Effiani.
You don't need a three, even though it's going to be a 7 or 8 possession. You cannot have an empty possession here. Something to the rim, and LeBron Black hitting a three because Fall is not coming out to guard it.
Shot clock is off. Lucas.
There he is.
Black for 3. Air ball short. Taylor into the front court where he is fouled.
pretty good reaction. Actually, a really good reaction by Banyard.
Chanting UCF. This first ever sellout crowd in this building that has stood for a decade. 10,000 strong. They've been having fun on a Wednesday night in Orlando.
Doug, I got to tell you, a lot of places build buildings that are too big. This building is a great size. I mean, a great size. 10,000. Everything is pretty much on top of you. Great student section. Congratulations, Johnny Dawkins. He moves to 14-1 in the NIT.
Lucas misses the three.
Now Brad Underwood goes to work, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee you tomorrow there'll be a team meeting. Some guys are going to have to make decisions. Some decisions will be made for them about whether they're with the Illini program. But in the meantime, Johnny Dawkins goes to New York City.
The last time Matt Williams and the rest of the UCF seniors will play in this building. They are headed to Madison Square Garden. To capper on the marvelous career of co-captain Tracy Abrams at Illinois.
Yeah, and I must say something also about Maverick Morgan. Maverick Morgan's a kid I coached in AAU. Great family, terrific career at Illinois as well.
Here come the students after UCF wins its 24th game of the year in the NIT quarterfinals. Up next, the TCU Horned Frogs. Our final score from Orlando. 68-58 UCF. For Dan Duckage and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Doug Sherman. So long from Orlando, Florida at CFE Arena. Now we send you to the World Baseball Classic Finals. USA versus Puerto Rico at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles.
We do have security staff on hand. We kind of ask you what you celebrate, but just